All right, everybody. Let me make sure my stuff is working right. Yes, it is. Okay, so welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers and NASDAQ enthusiasts. We're just going to check out the market while we see if Robert is going to hop on today. So we are live. All right. Um, let's look at Bitcoin Daily View, bitcoindailyview.com. Got more for you there. I did put some links here. These are all the indicators that we're using. This is the chart template, which should work. It should fire up, and you can use that or make a copy. Bookmark, TOPSTEP. This is the real-time. It's like $7 a month. It's the real time that you need for the CME for the kind of trading that we're doing on the traditional market. If you want to have to the second charts, and basically here we go. And there's other things here that you might need. So right here in the very beginning of at bitcoindailyview.com, there's most of the stuff that you might need to do what we're doing in the mornings. And then, of course, if you scroll down, there's just more fun stuff. Okay, so anyway, it's just a single page, and there it is. So that should help out if you want to play along. Looking at FinViz this morning, the market's not open, so it doesn't mean much. But Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours, 4.7 billion, very, very low, down 28%. So we're heading to the weekend, and I think we're going to see a rather low energy weekend. Looking at the buys and sells coming in right now, I'm really seeing a mix of $1 million plus buys and sells on Bitcoin. So there's a bit of a battle going on for the price action right now on Bitcoin. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, where the big money is, 66% long, 33% short. And it's always interesting when it's 66 and 33. It usually means there's like games being played. I've always noticed that that's a real volatile percent split. And it would make sense since it's like the Illuminati numbers. And I do note that we have kind of maybe a possible W pattern forming here. We'll look at that in a sec. But definitely this morning, I think the big money is battling to get Bitcoin in a bullish or bearish attitude. Looking at the top 20 exchanges, spot trading volume across all the spot pairs is in the red this morning. So basically it's decreasing as we go into the weekend. That's fine, but is a good data point. Looking at Bitcoin in the top 100, Bitcoin's coming in at $57,414. And look what we got going on here. Boom. All red. The top 100 are all in the red. So we're definitely seeing a bit of a weak ass morning. So let's actually fire up before we look at the NASDAQ, since we'll see if Robert's going to hop on this morning. We do this a little bit impromptu, and sometimes I don't make it. Sometimes he don't make it. Here's a really fun chart I was looking at the other day. WD-40. I know this is like, who cares? It's WD-40, but traditional market, WD-40, it's a 45-minute chart. It's been on the way down for quite a while. This is a bit of a micro glance here, but look at that huge spike this morning. We're starting to see it turn positive. On the 45-minute chart, it challenged the 200 moving average. Then it broke above the 200 and the 314. Boom, a huge run like that. And I think since we're above the 314, I think if you're a traditional trader, I have a feeling I kind of want to. I know this is like totally off the topic, but why not? Daily chart here, I'm watching WD-40. The MACD is cross positive. We have this long trend here on the daily, and I looked at this from a couple different ways recently. So I'll just leave it like this. I think we got this beautiful upwards channel. I could put it here. I could actually really put it right here, and I think get a lot of value. I think you could definitely, I'll just do that. So I think we have this upwards channel going. We broke above it, we broke below it, but we just broke back into it. On the daily, we're above that 200 moving average. We made a kind of a 314 bounce there. MACD is way down here, low, and it's now making a move up. And look at that spike. So anyway, just as far as traditional money, like for a long, I might get into WD-40. It's WDFC, because hey, maybe America, as the economy starts to wane here in the Western Empire for at least the immediate future, maybe WD-40 people are starting to fix their own squeaky garage doors. Anyway, and when I look at that, you could get a little bit creative, and I know I'm being kind of silly, but you could get creative and call that one of our W patterns. And what if that just really makes a beautiful run? So anyway, for my little pile of like boring long money, I'm actually probably going to get into WD-40. Anyhow, so let's look here at the immediate time frame. Let's look at Bitcoin versus USD here on Coinbase. That's where I like to look at it. I'll keep a watch out for Robert here, see if he's hopping on this morning. He may have had some technical difficulties, or we had our times crossed, or who knows what. But you got me this morning, so we'll talk about some stuff. Robert really is the NASDAQ hard guy, but I can help out a little bit. We can at least look at some things before we get out of here, if Robert is busy this morning. Looking at Bitcoin versus USD, of course, on Binance, on Coinbase. That's my best read for its value. I don't know why. I just like to go there to see what Bitcoin's doing. And I think here on the 45-minute chart, we can kind of see with a little bit of creativity an upwards channel forming. And I think it looks something like that. And could we be seeing a bounce for Bitcoin? It's definitely given a lot back recently. And it's we are seeing, but the squeeze indicator, directional index is looking pretty good. No great volume coming in, but this is an interesting chart. So this is a 45-minute chart. Let's look at a 4-hour chart for a little bit, get rid of some of the chop. See, look at that. See, we've definitely given so much back. We're below the 200 and the 314, but we're beginning to see the indicators turn up a little bit. We're beginning to see an upwards channel, and this is an interesting moment. I kind of like what I'm seeing. Let's look at before we look at a daily chart, let's just look at this a little bit closer. So you can see this upwards channel forming, and it's definitely going to find resistance around 58,500. No, I'm sorry, around 62,300, where it starts to hit a resistance to getting back in Lambo mode. You can see right now there's a previous. If I fire up a ray here, boom. Okay, so it's really working with an interesting spot from the past. And it looks like maybe it's finding support there. So I want to keep an eye on this thing. And I'm also watching for the famous blockchain education pattern. Could we be seeing, it's kind of hard to draw. I don't know. I can't quite get a W out of that. But maybe. Anyway, I don't see a W pattern. But I see an upwards channel. I like what I'm seeing. We're seeing a little bit of velocity here on the daily. On the 4-hour. Let's go to the daily. And daily chart, yep, you can see definitely here with this ray, we are working on a previous interesting area that I think we're getting support off of. On the daily, I mean, look what's happening here. I like what I'm seeing. Expand this out. Let me get rid of that upwards channel. And you can see that we're challenging that 200 moving average on the daily, and that's really nice. We're well above the 314, and the 200 is above the 314, so that's a wonderful thing. And like we've talked about before many times, or maybe I just prattle on about it. This to me is a range. This is where the money is, and they know what they're doing. Bitcoin is still a very manipulatable asset. When it comes to the big dollars, they can push this thing around like all they want, and so they're just playing this game here. And so I think I kind of like what I'm seeing, because they were like selling here. They're selling here. They're buying here, they're selling here, and they've really flushed a lot of retail traders out. And I would say that, just my opinion, a little bit of intuition, if we can keep some upwards momentum going here, because we've given a lot back. I mean, the market's kind of pretty weak. And let me fire up a fib sequence here. Where you at? Little fib sequence, fib retracement. I'm sorry, I want a different one. I want this. Where's my this other one? I want forecast. So if we were to hop in and ride that thing back to the top of this channel, kind of following these swings the way they look, that could be like in Bitcoin, maybe a month could net you more than 10%. You never know. So anyway, I'm thinking Bitcoin could be in the mood. It might be in the mood to actually make a nice long position. Not financial advice, but hey, if I was a betting man, which I guess that's what all traders are, I'd be betting we might hit the top of this channel, unless we really are going to just give up and lose that daily 200. And but I don't think we're gonna. Anyway, Robert is here, and how you doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I've just been bluffing everybody with Bitcoin.
Yeah. who knows what's going to happen with Bitcoin because of all the Mt. Gox money.
Is that actually happening now?
Yeah, it's actually started to happen. They have released a little bit. I think they're trying to trickle it in because they certainly don't want $9 billion worth of Bitcoin to be dumped sold on the exchanges real quickly because it would heavily impact the price.
Yeah.
Also, the German government has been selling Bitcoin on the exchanges. And I'm hearing that it's confiscated Bitcoin either from so-called criminals or from Russia or who knows.
Oh no, I hear you, and I like the way you put it. So-called, because alleged. We don't know what the financial regulatory system of this world considers a bad guy is. Well, let's just say that's you know.
Well, let's just say that if you have a lot of Bitcoin and they want to take it, they will create evidence to say that you're a criminal so they can take your Bitcoin. So it's been done in the past. I'm sure they'll do it again. So,
yeah. So yeah, it's a big club and you ain't in it. And so, words of wisdom, I never thought when I was, younger, listening to George Carlin that, some things are timely, some things are timeless. I never realized that maybe a lot of people didn't, that George Carlin would prove to be timeless. You know what I mean? His message was timeless. So, you know what? I've been sitting here talking about Bitcoin like an idiot, and I didn't have my screen shared. So sorry, everybody.
I've done that before.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, since we're kind of here for the NASDAQ, do you want to share your screen and show us what's going on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me just set that up.
I need to actually put some stickies on my monitor. Like, is your screen shared? Are you using the right microphone? Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, everybody, I hope that was entertaining without pictures.
Yeah, I've done that. Been talking about levels and see this crossing and all this stuff, and not even screen sharing. It's happened to me once or twice.
Yeah, it's happened to me like, once or twice, dozen times.
All you can do is just laugh.
And go, well, I hope that was entertaining, everybody.
Yeah.
We have a new background this morning. We're going to, a little patriotic here.
Yeah, you didn't make the bed though, Craig. Probably should.
I know. It's pathetic.
I know. Just jumped out of bed and got right on live. But that actually shows determination. And
it kind of does. I try to make that. It's a hard bed to make, believe it or not. That sheet is like really sticky. It's like this linen thing, and it's hard to get flat. But anyways, oh my goodness. So it is 6:20 a.m. and the market opens in 10 minutes, and we're starting to see that pre-market volatility.
Look what happened yesterday. The NASDAQ.
Oh my goodness.
2,400 points, 2,400 ticks, which is basically $600 and what? $20? $640. It was a lot. I mean, it just dumped.
Wow.
Wish I could have gotten in on the whole thing, but when you're in it and you're looking at 2-minute or 5-minute candles, and it's trying to do these little reliefs along the way, it's kind of hard to to stay in the whole thing sometimes with a real money account.
Yeah.
But I made about 1,000 yesterday.
Woo.
Which is okay.
On shorting or longing? I
took one short, made about 600, did a couple of long scalps after that. And then market was kind of tricky. So I just decided to stay out for the rest of the day and watch it.
Yeah, that would have been kind of hard after that dump. Once it corrected a little bit, if you caught that, it'd be great. But yeah, the rest of the day looks sort of, difficult.
Yeah, it looks easy, but when you're in it, it's a whole different show. So right now, I almost expect it to start taking back at least a little bit of what it lost yesterday. I mean, I could be wrong. On the daily, it's super pumped up. It's been going up for I don't know.
Ooh.
These are daily candles.
Yeah.
The last real downward correction we had kind of started on maybe March 21st, ended on April 22nd. So it lasted a month, to actually roll over from almost 19,000 down to 17,350. So then we've been kind of doing the same thing, just going up and up and up. It doesn't look like, it's not the same type of structure where it's rounded and starting to roll over. It's just pumped up, being fueled by Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, etc. So today,
Yeah.
who knows?
It's
It
always
feels,
fun to see. Always fun to see that open and see what's going to happen. It's looking at those 15-minute candles. We're let's see. I know you've got your 5 and your 10 moving average, and something I thought I'd mention to people. It's in the if it's not in the description now, I'll stick it as a comment afterwards. I may have kind of forgotten to do that, but BitcoinDailyView.com. Boom, go there. Top of the page, I have links to most of what we're doing. So there's a template that pretty much looks just like what Robert's doing right now. And then I shared a watch list, which is the futures that we see that are open to the right there. And also there's links to each of the individual indicators over on TradingView. The $7 subscription monthly, you need to get real-time CME data, and Bookmap, a link to that, and of course TOPSTEP. So pretty much everything that we're doing, just top of that page. I'll put it in the show notes or I'll put it as a comment, but BitcoinDailyView.com, easy to remember. Boom, top of the page. I'll try to keep that updated with anything that we're doing so that you can just go there, click, and you can play along. All the cheat codes are there.
cool.
Are there? Oh, I should call that CM. NASDAQ cheat codes. Wow,
Yeah,
this is a hard morning to call, especially with that crazy. Look at those wicks.
yeah. The must have been an announcement this morning at 7:30 a.m. Central, because this thing wicked out hard and did basically a upside at 470, downside was 335. So that's enough to liquidate anybody, just about anybody, if they happen to be in that the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
At 7:30 a.m. Central. Now that happens, not the wick thing, but the volatility happens at that time, because when you have news coming out at that stage, pre-market, you have speculators that are saying it's going to be bullish news. Others say it's going to be bearish news. And there is some type of a chart that says what's expected. So that anticipation just creates a big flash, because you have shorts waiting down below, a few longs waiting above. They just want to catch a quick scalp.
Yeah.
Looks like the shorts would have done really well on that particular.
Ooh. Yeah, if you were short and you would have done quite well if you had your sell in, because you didn't have much time.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. And so going to 30 seconds, we're getting down to the wire. The market's going to open soon. It's a matter of seconds now. Let's see, it's 6:27, and what's the NASDAQ trying to do here? Well, so your green moving average, is that the 5 or the?
Well, yeah. See, the 5, when it's okay. Here's how it works. If you have the 5 moving average is set up so if it's going down, it's red. If it's going sideways, it's yellow. If it's going up, it's green. Let's see. That's actually not That's actually the 75, which does the same thing as the 5 in
Oh,
color
okay.
changes. So the 75 is kind of closely following this candle pattern just because it's been sideways all night, give or take. So that is the 75.
Yeah, and 75. So the moving averages that we're mostly looking at are the 5, the 10, the 75, and so we definitely dumped below the 75 on the 2-minute candles here, but we're making a move up. So it looks like as the market opens, and then I forget that indicator that you've got there in the middle. The
Heikin-Ashi
yeah,
spread.
the Heikin-Ashi, yeah, that one. That's on the template. If anybody hooks that up, I think I have it just uh, muted, I guess you'd say, but it's there if you want to turn it on. And so yeah, on the 2-minute candle, we're getting back above that 75 moving average, and I don't see the 2 and the 10. I think the 2, I see one that's kind of green or brown. I think it is that one. Yeah. So
You mean the
I think
5 and the 10?
yeah, the 5 and the 10. I see the 75. Then the 5 and the 10. I see them. Oh, there they are.
The
So
5
we're
follows the price action
yeah.
really closely. The 10 is always, we got 1 minute. The 10 is always kind of an olive color,
There we go.
yellowish,
Yeah.
gold.
Oh, and so we're above the 5 and the 10. We've made looks like maybe we found a nice little support there on the 75 moving average on the 2-minute candle. So, I wonder, are we going to have one of those mornings? Is this going to be one of those Lambo mornings where we just rocket ship to Pluto on market open?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm ready if it starts going up.
Heck yeah. It seems like in the mornings when we're doing the NASDAQ like this, it's either um, maybe it's always a little hard to call on open, but
It is.
but if you do catch it, you can make some serious gains, first thing in the morning if you catch it the right way. But if you don't catch it, that initial explosion, then like we've been kind of as a good methodology, just giving it 20 minutes or more, let that initial morning, um, you know, morning excitement, morning riz, let
Yeah.
that chill out, and then catch the direction that it's going to more likely take after that.
Yeah, we have New York Open now. It just happened about 20, 30 seconds ago. They kind of pushed the price down a little bit, but just only a few dollars. It looks like it's going to come up.
And there we go.
Order filled.
Oh, there you go.
Order filled.
$320.
Right there. Boom.
I'm glad that I could actually take a live scalp, on your show, because a lot of the time we're sitting here kind of going, well, it's not really doing much right now, or it just takes off without us. But, I'm at the point to where if I make a trade, I pretty much have to be right, because as my earnings go up on my XFA, my maximum loss limit gets pretty tight. Yesterday it was about, I don't know, I think it was minus $1,400. Now today it's minus $700. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I don't have an explanation for that.
And XFA, that means so you're on TOPSTEP.
Express funded account on TOPSTEP. Yep.
Oh, okay. Funded account. There we go.
Yeah, and you can see at the upper left here, it says in gold, 100K Express. So what they do is it's actually still a simulated account in the fact that it's not injecting your money or money from this actual exact account into the market, but they copy trade my trades using a live account, a real, and then it goes into the market. So it might as well be the same. They generate those trades so that if you make a profit, you can get paid. So,
and then it's one of the things that I'm still figuring out exactly how that works, but I think I'm also overthinking it. It just works, and I should just stick to that.
yeah.
It
A
works.
little complicated to think about, but
Yeah.
then once you get called up to the live account, which is the top level, then you actually have a real money account. Of course, if you have $100,000 account, you can't take the $100,000 out, but it does have that amount of, you do have the whole amount of money that actually gets injected into the markets, affects the markets, and you make money.
Yeah. So really, you can kind of get involved in this with just paying for a subscription or two, and then you can just start. Well, as long as you do your homework and work at it, you can just start making money.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And so
Well,
yeah.
the way I look at it is, there's a lot of people out there that work so darn hard just to make like 150, 200 bucks a day. They work their tails off. But the way I look at it is, if you put that much thought and effort into trading, and just, if you're not familiar with trading, study a lot. There's a whole bunch of information on YouTube. TOPSTEP X has a whole training program within there. If you had an account there, you could watch all their videos, see how all the different traders do stuff, and really start learning. If you put that much effort into it, you could easily make, $1,000 a day, $2,000, $5,000 a day. Once you get going and get the financial padding in your account that you need, so you have, so you can take a drawdown without blowing up your account. So
100%. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's something I do like about trading, whether it's, crypto trading, or whether it's this, traditional market trading, or, whether it's, corn futures, like whatever a person likes to trade, you find something that works for you, or a couple things that work for you. And, then you can just make money, because I do look at it. People are, we have like a loneliness epidemic in our country. We have, it's sad. Most people are, you know, they are living paycheck to paycheck, or they're paycheck aware, as I call it. Then they get gaslighted and they're told that it's their fault because they spend too much money. And they're sort of like, I don't know, I'm just trying to, like, pay the mortgage and keep my kids going to school, and tolerable clothes, and pay my health insurance, and my one kid has to go to the dentist, needs a crown. Most people are, I'd say the majority of Americans, I believe personally, are very thrifty almost. And I think that a lot of this ridiculous credit card debt we're seeing, and all this, it's just the machine gaslighting us. I think most people are just trying to make it. They're not trying to, of course you have the 40K a year millionaire, right? Who, but that's unique. I live in a ritzy part of town just by chance. And, everybody's just getting by, with the inflation and such like that, and a lot of other factors. And if you have the ability to make, let's just say that you play it really safe, and it's just $1,000 or $500 a week that you make, that's life changing for most Americans.
yeah, absolutely.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's life changing. It makes a difference between, like not eating the last week of the month. You know what I mean?
It's real intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah, it's like intermittent. I know.
Eat one month, go hungry the next month.
Yeah, America seriously is intermittent fasting in the end of the month. So, and this really is something that helps, because I do look at it. I think about it so often. If your average American knew as much about trading as they do sports, they would be wealthy. They would.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
this is such a great way to actually, benefit yourself and make some money. And that's why I like doing this and trying to share it. And we'll kind of build an audience for this and, keep getting it down better, because I think that I know a lot of people are doing it, but um, I just like the idea of any help we can offer, our fellow humanity to, not be intermittent fasting end of the month. I think that's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I agree. I have been doing, speaking of intermittent fasting, I have been starting to eat just once a day.
Mm,
And it sounds harsh, but you start out with skipping breakfast, which is not the most important meal of the day. It's actually the least in reality. That whole terminology was created to sell food by
mm,
big food companies. So you stop eating breakfast, and pretty soon you're not hungry in the morning because you're used to it. And then you wait till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon and have lunch, and then have some dinner. About 6 o'clock, and then the next step is you stop eating lunch. And then after you do
mm.
that for a little while, you just don't even get hungry. You just go,
Oh,
well, it's dinner time. I'm kind of hungry, so I'll probably just eat something. So instead of living to eat, you end up eating to live.
yeah.
Nutritionists say that if you do intermittent fasting, your body absorbs a lot more of the nutrition from the food, and it's a lot better for you after you've gone through this kind of self-cleaning process of not having food for 24 hours.
Yeah.
They say that after 2 or 3 days, your brain turns on and goes into like overdrive. Now, I haven't been to that point yet, but I will, because I want to experience that. So,
Oh, I get it. Yeah. I think we're all into, wanting the brain to get into overdrive. There's just many, many factors as to why, but I think a lot of people feel a pressure, and they just kind of intuitively have maybe a heavy feeling about the world and such. And I think that we all need to get the edge to do our trading, to do, to keep living life, and so, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not intermittent fasting, but I do, always seeking how to get that, more power, especially mental power, how to keep that brain going, because you got to keep your brain and your body going, because I think that, especially like with trading, if we're going to achieve, wealth, it's going to be, we achieve that, we achieve it in that extra mile. We got to find the energy for that extra mile.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're intermittent fasting. It's there's a discipline.
This acts like it wants to go up. Let's see what the indicators look like.
So on the 2 minute candle, we've been bouncing on that's the VWAP there. You've got the blue line,
Yep, that's VWAP.
and so what, what moving average is that VWAPing?
VWAP stands for volume weighted average price.
Hmm.
So it's actually not a true moving average.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the formula is, to be honest, but they say that all roads lead to VWAP, and I am starting to believe them.
Hmm. Cool. And so, well, we have broken, and I know it's just a 2 minute candle, but we have broken a previous high this morning, recently, starting to almost see a bit of an upwards channel going there. I mean, it's still volatile, but we have gotten past that, market open explosion that wasn't that massive, not like it has been, recently. So we're kind of starting the morning a little bit, I don't know, not a lot of, not a lot of mojo going on.
Yeah, if you look at the way the price moves, it's indicative of thin liquidity.
Mm,
So when you have less liquidity, the price can move more easily between price points because all the points in between aren't filled properly. It just, I mean, it's got decent volume right now, but it just kind of doesn't have the mojo right now. You're right. I like to see it when it's got volatility and it just starts pounding, and it's gone down a few, $20, $40, and now it just pounds back up, and that's when you can get in and just start trading in the moment and make some money and get out. So right now I'm looking at the size filter on the time and sales, and I'm seeing mostly shorts. Of course, these people are scalping. This is short-term stuff.
Oh yeah, and you see that the size, at market open isn't that. I guess I would say the order size increases as the morning gets going, and so that's really quite the indicator where you can see people are putting big trades into, like, the market attitude right now appears to be short, at least at like the scalpel, the scalpel, the scalper time frame. There's definitely some money betting on short right now, and that would make sense.
Kind of what the big money does is, the traders that can put on, 8, 10, 15, 17 lots, they scalp it back and forth, and that way they're just kind of like, in a way, gambling, although they're not completely gambling because they know that on short time frames, it's just going to swing back and forth. Like, say, using 15-second candles, you can go to 15-second candles and you can literally pick out the bottoms and pick out the tops. So when you look at the Trendillo, which is here, it's reaching a bottom on the 15-second. The stochastic is reaching a bottom.
Still see TOPSTEP.
Sorry, I did it again.
So there you go.
Let me go fix this now. Okay. Okay, there it is. Share. Okay, so these are 15-second candles, and the Trendillo is kind of reaching a bottom. Stochastic's reaching the bottom. Red squeeze reaching the bottom. The whole thing on all four indicators. See, there's the...
And it's turning up quick. Boom.
Yep. See, it goes quick on the 15-second because each candle is only 15 seconds. So you don't have a lot of time to... You either have to just switch over the tab and get in or try to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
So these are very scalpable, but you have to try to catch the bottom on the 15-second and then have a stop loss down here. So if it somehow makes a lower low, you get out and you don't lose hardly anything. Maybe $150 or something. You also have to watch out for the stochastic. If it travels up a lot, but the price doesn't move up a lot, then you better be getting ready to get out when it gets to the top threshold, the top dotted line. So these are things I've just noticed and happening over and over again in the market.
And we're seeing a nice little move there on the 15-second. We're above the 75 moving average. On the 15-second, we're kind of now challenging previous highs. I mean, so, whoa, looks like maybe it's getting a little, of course.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit sparky. Now, this is not a traditional Trendillo move. This is like it went down to a certain point and they said, no, we're going to push the price back up, and it just reverses just really quickly. So that would have been a very nice trade to the long side, especially at 2 units. Like 185 ticks. Just like that, like $900.
Boom.
In fact, that's $900 at 1 unit.
Oof. So that's beautiful. And now, of course, it's very predictably rolling over. I mean, it could push further, but the indicators, you see this beautiful rollover, and it makes sense. You know, it challenged the previous high, got a little bit above it, and then it retraced. And so, I mean, if we're looking at it, that was a 15-second candle, sure, but that was a higher high. So
Yeah.
you know, even that starts to tell you things about the other time frames that you're working with. You know. Oh, it's pushing. What's it gonna do? It's curious. It doesn't want to give any back.
Trendillo is still green. So that's
Yeah.
one indicator that says that even though it started to roll over, it's not ready to roll over. It just made a very slightly higher high on the 15-second, and
Yeah.
probably gonna even go higher.
Oof.
Yep, it's got some juice.
And this is that time where you could be, if you're in this beautiful trade right now, you're gonna start to move your stop loss up. You know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then you don't even care. Like, whatever, I'll take my chances. You know, if you think it's gonna push higher, you can just set your stop loss and a nice profit and just see if you're right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, well, I was talking about it and saying this is going toward the bottom. I could have taken the trade, but that's okay because there's plenty of opportunities just like this.
And this goes on for, like, we do this during the market open, but I mean, you've kind of got, you know, a person who's interested in trading just like this. You have the whole day. You know, it just moves up and down all day. You know.
Yeah, maybe not quite this radically because this was a really quick, 230, 240 tick move to the upside. So it's kind of a little bit of an anomaly, but it's early in the day. There are a lot of traders, professional traders, who trade fairly early in the day, maybe the first couple hours, and then they make their money, and then they just quit for the day and maybe go play golf. So
Yep.
that's the goal. Yeah, 250 ticks.
Not looking too bad. Yeah, now we definitely have that, you know, that higher high has been definitely asserted. So yeah, look at that. So Friday is starting out with a little bit of action.
Yeah, action to the upside.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily hop in and short now, you know, but I'm not sure. That's the thing. I've learned over time that there really is no top and there is no bottom. I mean, you predict with the chart, you know, best you can, but there really is no top. There's no bottom. Something can pump as far as it wants, and it can dump as far as it wants. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. There's no rules, just probabilities. That's it.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to do something like this, a move to the upside. It was kind of acting dumpy a few minutes ago.
For
But
sure.
it kind of did this rollover and then just took off. So there's a
That's
level up here that I marked yesterday at about 20,539, some kind of level of importance. Yeah, look at that. I call this the fish hook.
Oh yeah.
It's really, that's 1 hour candles. So it's really making a move.
Oh yeah. And that's one thing. If you do, you know, if you zoom out a little bit, you know, we're looking at 15-second candles, but now we're looking at hourly candles, and you can see the one of Robert's signature patterns that he calls the fish hook. And wow, that takes a lot of chop out. I mean, the trendillo, the squeeze indicator, all the indicators are looking great. You know, the RSI might be getting a little high, but it has plenty of green that it could ride in. This is really a push. This is looking interesting. I mean,
Yeah, it sure is.
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's not getting a little retrace soon, but at the same time, it's you know, I wasn't sure when the market was getting ready to open, but it has definitely opened with some vigor. Wow.
Yeah, this is wild. Yeah, it could run out of steam to the upside pretty soon, but you know, I've seen this thing just start going up and then just get a little very small relief and then go higher, retrace a few dollars, go higher yet, and then just kind of keep going like that. You know, like Bitcoin. It can just keep slamming and stay overbought for a long time. So
Oh, there we go. And that candle body is building on the next in the 2 minute. So yeah, wow. It's one of those. It kind of shows how, like, gosh, even though it's like so risky, if you can catch the attitude of the NASDAQ, you know, on open when it's going to make this move, that's such a great play. But it's risky. You're sort of doing it. It really is a bit of a Hail Mary, as they say.
yeah,
It is. Oh, but if you catch it, awesome. If not, you got to wait for this morning, you know, exuberance to trail off, and you can definitely get in a safer long or short, probably.
that's right. So now the 1 minute does appear to be slowly starting to roll over. What does it look like on 15 second? Yeah, 15 second is definitely rolling over. Yeah, that was a nice run. Let's see what NVIDIA looks like. Yeah, NVIDIA pushed up pretty nicely during that same time period. Apple as well. Microsoft, not really as much. Yeah, so it's actually trying to push a higher high now.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Oh, and it's pushing it. Oh, there you go. Whoa.
Yeah, look at that.
Jeez. Wow, quite a morning. It was hard to call, but now definitely we're seeing, at least for the moment, an upwards trend. But that's the thing. This could be an upwards trend that just, you know, plummets. So it's never, I guess in a sense, it's always the same game. You know, you're always just trying to catch those trends, whatever time frame you're actually trading. But on the minute, that's just what a nice run. But one thing I am noticing, so we're looking at the minute here. We do see at the bottom, we see the volume, you know, and it is waning. It has been waning ever since this upwards move started.
Yeah, that tends to kind of be the norm with the NASDAQ. You get a really strong volume out of the starting gate, New York Open, and then it does kind of fade a bit. as the day goes on. So if we look at yesterday on, say, 5 minute, let's see here. So yesterday, there's the New York Open. We had a decent run because we had a pump at the 7:30 a.m. Announcement yesterday, and then the volume started to die off, and then the bears came out and they started dumping the price, and it pretty much faded all the way until near closing, and then they came out and they dumped it again because about 10 minutes before closing time, which is 3 p.m. Central, all the TOPSTEP traders start closing their positions, and anybody that wants to get in a last-minute trade can get in the last 10 or 15 minutes and short the market. Get in the last hurrahs. So that happens pretty consistently. A lot of traders, though, have a personal rule: don't get involved in the market 10 minutes before close, just because. And if you do, especially, you do not want to go long there. Because everybody's just closing their position. That gives rise to short scalpers taking on trades they know are going to go down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can literally look at it, and that's what happened.
Boom.
That's the
nice,
right there.
Ooh, with a nice wick at the end,
Yeah.
The tons of limit orders we're waiting for.
That's
Sells.
right.
They're like, boom, I'm getting in. Okay, I'm going to put my take profit right here. Bam. Oh my gosh, on the 5 minute candle.
Look at that. It's just pounding.
Whoa. That is incredible. So the NASDAQ is definitely opening today with a beautiful upwards move, But yeah, it creates a scenario where if you were in a market open, okay, great, you're happy, but if not, it's just being patient now, waiting for because I'm kind of sitting here like going a long short, and I'm like, well, I didn't catch the open, so I kind of got to wait until we see a confirmed downtrend to short or something, because this is kind of like no man's land right now. If you're not already in, this is kind of a
You don't want to chase this.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Because as soon as you do, the
Boom.
bears are going to come out and push the price down.
Yeah.
Presumably. I mean, I wouldn't want to take the chance.
Yeah, I mean, we could see 21,000 today, or we could be back down to 20,400, just as quick. So, but like looking at the size, definitely seeing some large orders in there, but they're both long and short. Looking at your screen, I see, it looks like and I want to start looking at Bookmap. I need to start pulling that up and looking at it during the trades, because like now looking, you see a lot of big shorts coming in too. Like, geez, 33 units short. Woo! It's
wild.
I find the order book is one of the best indicators. I know it's very volatile. It's hard to follow, but I love seeing what the seeing what the big money's betting on. Because I tend to think that they're usually right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there. So I'll just share my screen real quick on Bookmap so that people will know what we're talking about. So basically you have this chart pattern here. This is a type of a heat map where it shows heavy areas. Go away. Okay, so it's kind of like volume bubbles, right? The green is longs, the reds or shorts. Literally, you can look at this and you can follow where the price goes. So if you have all these orders placed, you pretty much rest assured that that's where the price is going to go. Especially the bigger the bubble, the bigger the orders are that are waiting to buy or sell in those positions. Now, keep in mind, orders can get opened and then pulled later. So it's not a guarantee that the price is going to follow that exact path, but it's probably going to come pretty close. That's about as much as I could tell you about Bookmap. I haven't subscribed yet, and
Yeah.
but I am interested in it. I've watched
Yeah,
Rick use it, and he does some pretty impressive stuff with it. Now, he had made, I think, about $22,000 or $23,000 by the time I woke up. So
jeez.
just, scalping multiple positions.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, I signed up for the free account, with Bookmap, and you can see some things, but I'm sure that the paid subscription offers a lot more. But yeah, I'll be looking at that like later on today and like this weekend, and maybe I can do a little bit of a presentation on like next week, like Tuesday probably, or whenever we hop on again. I can do a little bookmap demonstration because I think that's I love what it's doing. I love what it's doing. And so now we're in the 30-second candles, and I think we're starting to see that, well, maybe that rollover is happening. Oh,
yeah,
no.
it is. It is. But the liquidity's thin, so they can come and push the price right back up. So they're kind of really fighting over this. Best way to look at it's on 1 minute probably, because see that they'll try to push it, make a higher high, can't do it. It's too overbought. At least I don't think it can. I was tempted to go short just about a minute ago, and I didn't do it. It would have been a scalp. I would have had to have gotten out, because at this point I'd be underwater on a short scalp.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to watch all the other indicators on different time frames to see, because I mean, yeah, we're either going to keep pushing, it's going to be an insane day, or we're going to see a retrace now, but
I think it's going to be an insane day.
mm,
I think the NASDAQ is going to be, let's see, I think it's going to end the day at least at 20,500.
okay.
It may actually go up and challenge that last high. If it did that, it would be truly amazing. We're only 35 minutes after New York Open right now, so literally anything can happen today. It could just go down a tiny bit and then just keep going up. And if it does that, I'm going to try to find a good long entry and just stick with it.
Yeah, because yeah, for sure. Because like zooming out to the hour, candles here and indicators, the stochastics looking good. The squeeze indicator is in an absolutely sweet spot, and so we're looking. I mean, for an hourly chart, especially if we get above we have the 70. Well, we're above the on the hourly. We're above the 5 and the 10 moving average, and the 5 is above the 10, which is positive, I do believe. And now we're starting to challenge. We're getting close to challenging that 75 moving average on the. And so, I think if I wanted to really do something this very moment, I'd probably long it and watch out for resistance at that 75 moving average on the hourly. But I'd kind of be watching all time frames. But I mean, look at the hourly chart. Also you can always fib it too and see where we're at. But
the only thing is, on the NASDAQ, it's so volatile. Since this is not the micros, this is the mini. It's $5 a tick, and one tick is a move of 25 cents.
Yeah.
So if you catch it and it's too high on a long, and then it goes down, your drawdown is going to be too great. So I absolutely would not long this here. The stochastic is fairly high. It can go a lot higher, of course. Squeeze looks really good on the 1 hour. Geez, it's still going up. If you look at the 1 minute though, it's kind of, getting
Yeah,
a
the
little
one.
choppy up in here. So
Yeah.
it's not in a place to go long. It's probably going to, who knows? I wouldn't. You can't really figure it out right now. I wouldn't go long or short right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing where there's that initial morning explosion, which if you catch it, great, but it's hard to call, really. It's a bit of a 50-50 chance, I think. If you catch it, great. If not, then you
Yeah,
didn't.
and I'm not into 50-50 because I'm not a gambler.
Yeah,
I don't want to flip a coin. I have no interest in that because I have a 50% chance of losing.
yeah,
So the idea behind using a certain group of indicators that you're familiar with, you know how they work together. The idea behind that is to remove all gambling from the situation and make it so that you have a really strong edge. And I feel that I do have an edge. I'm a little bit too careful, but I watch some of these other traders on TOPSTEP TV, and some of them just sit there all day on their thumbs and they don't even take trades. That's because they're looking for certain levels to go long at, say with a limit order down below, and it just doesn't go there. So they don't take the trade, which is good because they're shooting for all or nothing. They want the big trade or they're not going to take it.
and that's really where it's at. Yeah, that's really, that's exactly where it's at. You know. So yeah, so we're getting over that morning exuberance, and now we're starting to see, okay, now what's going to happen? We're going to keep going, we're going to retrace, but now it's the, it's
probably just going to go up.
yeah.
Sometimes those guys go, just buy it.
Mm.
When they're trying to figure out whether to go long or short, just buy it. Just go long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a funny looking structure anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas super pumped up, but is it going to go up or down from here?
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of it is just having your trading methodology that you stick to. It works, and if by chance one catches the crazy morning open, great. But if not, you really are. It's almost like, I could almost ignore it for like 45 minutes. Like if it opens at 6:30, just come back at like 7:15, and then take a look.
Yeah.
And start to see what the structure is going to be like, because it is encouraging that especially like big time traders with the big money will just sit there and watch and wait, because I find myself doing that quite often, and it's good to be reminded that that's not a waste of time. You're trading when you're waiting too, and that is hard to remember sometimes.
Well, the way they put it is, if you decide not to get in, you're still taking a position.
Yeah.
Position is to not trade at that time. So you've still made a position.
And then here on the 1 minute candle, are we actually going to make a new higher high and hold it? Woof. Well, at some point we're going to see the big short here, or maybe not, but 5 minute candle's looking good. Wow.
Yeah, it did make a higher high just now.
Well, Nvidia's up this morning. Microsoft is kind of indifferent. Apple's doing well. Nvidia and Apple, they're just doing great. Microsoft did not show up for work today.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Microsoft is just kind of flopping around.
Yeah, it's doing updates right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and now you see, and that was a big wick we saw right there.
Yeah, that's a big wick on the 5 minute. So 2 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, so now this is the point where it's probably going to start to roll over because the 1 minute Trendillo is leaving the green. So I think it's going to roll over.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. It did do a higher high, which is cool, but yeah, it's getting tougher to keep that momentum. Well, it's that magic time where I got to run off, and I got to get to the day job, but you know, eventually it will just be doing this and no more day job. That'll be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you got to start trading your combine, Craig.
I am. I'm over here to the side doing it. I like to have my little laptop over here so I can just not interrupt this and I can, make that happen. Well, what I'll do is let's do it again next week, and I'll do some book mapping so I can show people Bookmap.
Okay.
And maybe like Tuesday, we can hammer out the details later. But for me, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my good days.
All right. Well, let's kind of tentatively plan on Tuesday then.
Yeah, we can tentatively plan, and probably 6 a.m. is the good time to open, unless there's something going on.
Yeah. And I'll be ready at 6 a.m. next time. Today I kind of slept in, so I forgot to set my alarm and opened my eyes, and it's like 5:50, and like, okay,
no.
I'm late.
No, I understand. Well, it's a labor of love right now. But it's great. We're just making it happen. We're showing up, and that's important because it's good for our profitability and everybody else. Eventually I think we'll have a little team on in the mornings, and we'll be looking at things from all different angles, and I think it'll just get more and more effective if we keep showing up. By God, if we build it, they will come.
That's right.
It's true. Universe recognizes intent. So I will I'll see you be talking to you beforehand, but we'll do this again Thursday, and as soon as we are for sure, I'll put it out so people can see it and hit notify.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.